Okay, I start. 3, 2, 1. Hi to everyone, and welcome to our Cloud SOAR overview. I'm Enrico Benzoni, and I'm a Marketing and Technical Alliances Manager at Sumo Logic for SOAR. And with me, there's Claudio Ghedini, our Security Solution Engineer.
Hello, everyone.
During this webinar that we will present a short overview on what is SOAR and how can help the improvement of your standard operating procedures to respond faster with a structured plan to your incidents. Basically, we will present you how it works, SOAR, that is a security orchestration, automation, and response. And we will introduce the topic, and we show the platform, and we hope to discuss you on your specific needs. We also have a ROI tool that show you with or without SOAR the benefit that you can have in managing all your processes. You have a question button you can use during this webinar, and at the end we will respond to some of your question. But let me start the presentation. SOAR starts with CMNs. We receive alerts. We make the triage of alerts and inside if you have Cloud SIEM. And we conduct enrichment and investigation, collecting all the information in a structured way. So your analyst will find all the information in one place, and they can boost the automation for the enrichment phase. So they can skip some time-consuming tasks, for example, managing threat intelligence, managing many different platforms to obtain information. All the information will appear in the case manager, and it's very easy for the analyst to analyze the information to take decisions. So they can take this type of decision to go ahead in the process, and this is very useful for them. So basically, the SOAR helps in minimize the response time, reduce the analyst fatigue, and improve the efficiency and consistency of the SOC. So you can leverage the playbook, the SecOps dashboard, the KPIs report, boost the automation, the war room, and the others capabilities that we have. We already have hundreds of connectors that you can add to your processes, and there's no one process that is the same of another one. And the power of the SOAR is the flexibility, because the cybersecurity has to serve the business, and you have to adapt your environment to the business and the processes that you have, and you can protect them. And you can also create cyber and non-cyber use cases. This is a short example of what is standard operating procedures improved by the SOAR. So you receive an alert. In this case, it is a phishing example. And after the receiving of the alerts, you have to conduct some enrichment. So, for example, you have to take the IP geolocalization of phishing domain. You have to make a screenshot of the phishing domain. You have to send a notification, and you have to take a first decisions. In this case, the SOAR analyze the score of results obtained, and in this case the playbook go up because it is malicious, conduct other enrichment, take another decision, and arrive at this important button that is the user choice. Analysts receiving the SecOps dashboard just this task. The others used to the automation, and after the receiving of this task, they have to decide what to do. In this case, the analysts click on Cisco umbrella, and the SOAR orchestrate the Cisco umbrella action in order to block the domain, and arrive at the latest action that we suggest to add to your process, that is review the incident and close it. So if you see, there are a lot of action to perform to respond an incident, but just 2 tasks has been performed by the analyst, and that this permits to save a lot of time and have been structured processes. Now, let me introduce the 6th point that Claudio present to you. So the open integration framework for integration, and in order to manage on the fly the existing one, adding new one, etc. The incident management capabilities, playbooks, and case manager, the SecOps dashboard in which appears all the analyst task, the triage machine learning and supervised intelligence that helps the analyst in order to take decisions and decide how to proceed, and likely customizable dashboard and KPI to improve the collaboration and communication across your company. And at the end, you can personalize the incident reports that will be created in automatic. Now, let me give the sharing of the screen to Claudio, please. And we can start talking about the open integration framework. Thank you. If you have any question, please use the question and answer box.
Okay, thank you, Enrico. I want to highlight this 6th point that Enrico mentioned already, starting from the open integration framework. That is a section inside the Cloud SOAR where you can manage, add, customize, and even create your own integration with third-party technologies. So inside the platform, there is the integration section with, in this example, the list of the available integration. By clicking on one of them, you can see all the actions that are available, or action are color-coded, as you see in the example that Enrico showed you before. You can check, so for example, the green one, enrichment, you can check the code of the action is all in clear text. You can highlight the languages that to highlight all the section of the code. You can see all the parameters, obviously. We support other languages, mainly developed in Python. And from here, directly, you can add, amend, add a new section of the code. So you can live modify the action. And from the list of the action, just clicking on the name of the action, as here, you can test the action to see if the result is the one that you are expecting. The second point that I want to highlight is the incident management capability, playbook and case management. As Enrico said, showed you before, this is another example of a playbook that can be used to analyze some specific incident. In the playbook section, you have all the available playbook, and is where you can create and modify the playbook. Is very easy, it's all graphical. You can edit the playbook, move the boxes around, so create, edit the configuration of a node. And you can obviously add a new action, or by selecting an action, you can see the 5 different type of action that are available. And selecting one type, you can see all the available action of that type. You can refine it by selecting, for example, starting write the name of an action. And then you can just select the parameters that is required. That can be some incident field or incident artifact that are some, let me say, variables that are inside the incident that you can use to store values during the analysis. Or you can select by the gear any input or output of values of any previous action that is before the one that you are creating inside the playbook. So, for example, this pick the output of the get inside action. You can add a manual task, when you want that the analyst performs some manual activity, what you can describe here. And so the analyst can receive this task and perform the activity that is described in tools, taking note of the time that is spent on this. You can add a condition that represents the if then else. So the playbook can pick automatic decision, or the user choice, where the playbook will stop and ask to the analyst to answer to a question where you can define as many possible answers as you want. You can filter some result of the previous action, for example, and add a nested playbook. Nested playbook is a useful function when you can define some playbook that can be adapted to different, and adding a node to the playbook. As you see, it's very simple. You can then refine the connection to that node, maybe deleting the previous one, and just reconnect the node to create a new workflow. In this example, the playbook will stop here, execute the internal playbook, and then proceed with the already defined task. Inside the incident section, for every incident, you have many possibilities to track all the information related to the incident, to store notes. For example, the analyst can pick any information. Here is the repository of all the tasks, manual tasks that are created. In the entity section, you have all the IOCs that are being harvested during the analysis. You see there are different types, domain, URL, hash values, IPs, etc. So all the IOCs that are being used during the analysis will appear here. By clicking on the plus button, you can add one manually, or by clicking on each IOC, you can see if there is a other incident where it is analyzed. You can check the result of any action that has been executed on this IOC. For example, this is an action on recorded future, and you can pick any of the result of the action and use them for further analysis. For example, you can check the parameter of the action that has been executed, and even from here, execute other action on the IOCs. In the documentation section, we have the activity log, the attachment section, where you can add other files to the incident, and the reporting section. In the activity log are stored all the activity that has been executed during the analysis of the incident, even automatic. This is the start time of the action. As you can see, there are automatic and even the manual action, obviously. So all the information of the analysis is here. The third point is SecOps dashboard. You see in this example, the SecOps dashboard is the home section of the platform where the analyst can see and receive all the activity that is involved into. So starting from a playbook, which has many actions, the analysts don't need to go here and check all the boxes, but in the My SecOps dashboard, we receive all the activity which requires his attention. So this is an example of user choice. This is the question that is the analyst should answer, and these are the possible predefined answer that it has been defined inside the playbook. And the analyst can obviously interact with any of these boxes. This is a manual action. So going back to the playbook, this is the user choice that has been referring to in the SecOps dashboard. These are the possible answers. So by, for example, clicking on the second answer, automatically in the playbook we proceed and is created a manual task. The next step was a manual task, and it appear automatically here, and the analyst can check which is the description of the manual task, if the priority, the end time, how much time is needs to before ending this task, who assign this task to the analyst, which user, and directly from here you can approve and close or decline by going inside. You see all the details of the task, obviously, and from here, so any field will appear. You can take in charge and, for example, interact with the details of the task, tracking, for example, the progress. And this is reflected automatically here, obviously, but is reflected also in the my SecOps dashboard. So here the analyst can see, just staying here, all the activity that is involved into, and refine it for searching from a specific incident, or interact with each box that is present here. The fourth point is the triage machine learning supervised active intelligence. We have the idea that time is a very important asset, so we want to help the analyst to use better his time. So with the supervised active intelligence, we have divided in two phases. Phase one is, as Enrico mentioned before, through the triage capability of the platform, eliminate the false positive and create only incident for the real threats. And the phase two is allowing the analyst to make the right decision by recommending the most relevant playbook that can be used to analyze this specific threat. Point number 5 is the high customizable dashboard and KPIs. This is some example of graphical widget that you can define to display different values and with different charts related to the incident, and you can interact with that, and each user can define his own graphical dashboard to represent the data that you want to highlight. And the latest point that I want to highlight, the sixth one, is the incident reports section, the capability of the platform. So in this example, you have a template for a report that you can create, and the value inside the bracket can be substituted at runtime when you execute the playbook with the proper value coming from the incident that you want to report. So reports are very helpful to improve communication. You can obtain detailed and quick report in less than a minute. You can easily collect information inside the report to the incident with all the action and the IOC that are involved. Reports, as I said, are customizable, so you can create your template with your font and logo and generate a report in different format for the different stakeholders. And that's improve the communication internal and external to the incident response. I want to highlight that also cloud SOAR multi-tenancy native platform. So you can have the centralized information management with high aggregated reporting and high visibility on tenants. You can propagate standards from master to tenants, for example, playbook, custom field, etc. It grants horizontal and vertical scalability to ensure excellent performance. There is the physical data segregation between each customer that you have in the multi-tenancy platform, and also grants the disaster recovery features. Okay, I will stop here and let Enrico to conclude the webinar.
Thank you, Claudio. So we have seen 6 points of the cloud SOAR. The first one, the open integration framework that allow to create integration and modify on the fly the existing one. The playbooks, case manager, incident management capabilities, the SecOps dashboard, in which appear just the task that analyst has to perform, and they can have here the manual task with every collected information to perform a specific task, or user choices. So the users has to take decisions on how the processes has to go ahead. Then the help that the SOAR provide to the analyst, that is the triage and the machine learning and supervised active intelligence. And the finally 2 points that helps the collaboration and communication across the all components. So the cloud SOAR is the core of the cybersecurity because it manages the processes of your SOC or your company. So you can improve your standard operating procedures using the playbooks, and you can work just on high value tasks. This is very useful tool in order to improve the efficiency of the analyst time, and you can have under control all processes, and you can decide whatever you want and how to use the automation, and with total control. Now we have few time, and we can respond to some question, and then we will be very happy to create a dedicated meeting with you in order to discuss further your needs. Let's start with some questions. So I have seen that we receive many of them, but we respond to someone. For first, how to start a SOAR project, and if you can decide how to how to decide which are the alerts to ingest. So how to start? I am trying to respond to this one. For first, you have to analyze the processes you would like to improve. After that, you have to make an assessment of the tool that you have and you would like to use, analyzing which are the integration to orchestrate. After that, you can decide which action you would like to automate, and in a graphical way, you will improve the process. About which are the alerts that you would like to manage, you have two possibilities. Obviously, when you create a process, you have to send the alerts to the SOAR, but just the alerts related to that process. So you have to way, or from the CM or other tool, you send to the SOAR the alerts or the insight, or you can have a daemon that in a specific time query the SIEM or other technology in order to import the alerts to start the right process. So this is very flexible for you, because you can improve starting from 5 to 10 playbooks, and then you improve with others, and it's a continuous improvement and enhancement of processes. Our customer, they are used to start from the most famous problem. So when you build playbooks for malware, brute force, lateral movements, DDoS, that are the starting point with the phishing. So that is the main playbooks. Other question related to the integration. If I have not an integration, how to proceed? Claudio, would you like to respond to this one?
Yeah, our team is developing always a new integration every week, let me say. But yeah, if you have a specific technology that you want to integrate to, we can submit to us the request, and we will usually develop a new integration in a few days if the technology expose the integration is technical feasible. Usually we use API to interact. It is the most common. So if the third-party technology expose API, it's very simple for us to create an integration. And also if you have a developer team, we can also provide the training for you, for example, for your team to develop your own integration without our support, but we are always available to do that.
Yeah, there's also the possibility to create a custom integration, but as Claudio said, we have a team that is available for you in order to check your integration if you want and test it or create it from scratch. So, but we have a catalog with a lot of integration ready to use, and we can create the missing one in few days. In addition, with the open integration framework, you can create other type of action that are the demons that we said before, and triggers. Triggers are useful because when you have a manual task that you perform, you can schedule that if the task is completed, an action can be started. So you can trigger other processes with starting from a conclusion of a task. Another question is related to the ticketing system. If I already have a ticketing system, how can I manage my processes? I try to respond to this one. Then Claudio, if you would like to integrate something. So you can align there's the features about the integration that you can align the ticketing system and the SOAR case manager. So you always be sure that the information you have in the ticketing system are updated in the SOAR and vice versa. And this is powerful because you can also create schedule action, for example, that during the playbooks, if you have to proceed with the procedures after the closing of a ticket, for example, every 30 minutes, every day, what you want based on your process, you can use the schedule action, for example, in order to check constantly if the condition of the ticketing of the ticket change, and this allow you to maintain aligned the two systems. Is it correct, Claudio?
Yeah, very important thing that you said, that is interaction are bi-direction. Also, when the ticket can be a starting point for start analysis, and then at any stage you can revert back to that, add more information, change the status, and it is very useful to keep all the two platform aligned on the status of the analysis.
Yeah. We have 2 minutes, so we can select the last one questions. So I have seen that many of these we already respond during the webinar. This one related to the MSSP. If I have many customers, can I use the others integrations and playbooks I created for everyone? Yes, the response is this. Yes, you can, as if you come back to the previous slide, Claudio, we can, you can see here that you can propagate standard from master to the tenants. So you can reuse the playbooks adapting to the other customer, but you can maintain the custom fields in the case manager, and that the custom fields are very important because you can import in a structured way every information you would like to have, and you can add the custom fields also in the reports, and reports are created in automatic. So this is very useful for the communication with the customer, because when you identify an incident and you solve the incident for your customer, you can send in a minute a very detailed report with all IOCs and everything you performed around that incident. This is a very interesting capabilities for SOC that provide a managed services. So thank you very much. Please, if you have other specific question, contact us. We will be happy to set up a demo for you. And you can contact us at sales@sumologic.com. And thank you, and see you soon. Have a nice day.